I want to talk about when people are quite a bit delusional. And there was something I saw the other day, and it made me think about this one particular one that I've experienced myself probably 20 years ago. I was witness to it. They weren't doing it toward me or anything like that, but I was witness to it. Okay, now I think I've mentioned some before, and I don't think I've mentioned this one before, but in other ones I mentioned, like a woman that was, she would see her name as number 1 on a list when she was actually like 3 or 4, and she was quite delusional about, she thought she was in a relationship with somebody, and she wasn't in a relationship with him. So things like that. I think I mentioned that one. Yeah, I did. And then there was also running across someone who was extremely obese. I don't know the term for it once you get to that size, but at least say 550, 600 pounds, and said he had lost 200 pounds and that he only had a little more left to go. That kind of delusional. But this one is something very different. Okay. Now this one happened probably like almost 20 years ago, maybe 18, I think. And I was in a classroom, and the classrooms, the tables, they weren't desks, but they were tables, were set in a, like a U fashion, you know, the letter U. And I was on one side of, like, I guess you would call it the arm, I guess, and they were, these 2 young women were on the other side. They were probably 10, 15 years younger than I. I'd say more like 15. When they did something odd. Okay, what they did was, they were both sitting there next to one another. I don't know if they were friends or what, but I spent a whole semester seeing this kind of thing with them. But what they would both do, let me get there, is that they would behave in a way that was much more mature than their age. They basically acted like they were 20 or 30 years older than they were. They were in their early 20s, and they were trying to act like they were in their 40s and 50s, or maybe even older. Okay, now one of them, she dressed and had her hair done and everything about her. And like I'm saying, she was in probably her early to mid-20s. Everything about her was more like what would be her grandmother. You know, her mother, but an older mother or a younger grandmother. It was very odd. And it was just so noticeable. And like I said, a whole semester of this, seeing this time and time again. And the other one, she dressed more like, rather sports. You know, like she was way into sports. You know, like sport T-shirts and, pants, sports pants. I don't know what you call them. So, but she's, always looked kind of sporty. And, but both of them acted this way. Just so, like they had somehow achieved that age so young. Of course, it could have been that, I would say it wasn't, but that they were both older than what they looked. And I have that problem. A lot of people think I'm much younger than I look. I mean, much younger than my age because of the way I look. And it always, I've already mentioned this before, if it's somebody who's a little older than I and says it, they're going to try that infantilization, try to infantilize me and make me seem like a child. But overall, people think I'm younger, and it could be that was the issue with them, but I don't think so. I spent a whole semester, and no, they just didn't, that they seemed like they were in their mid-20s, both of them. And but I've had that happen to me before too. The last time I took a class in a classroom was when I was 48, and a woman, I had said something about back when I was 24, and a woman in the class who was 56, I think, she looked at me and she said, "What do you mean 24? You act like it's so long ago. You can't be more than 32 after I'm 48." And it really bothered me because she was that type. It really bugged me. But the whole class, class said, "I can't believe it. No way. You can't be 48." And the instructor said, "Yeah, she is," because she knew. She said, "Yeah, I'm surprised too." So I've had to deal with that, and maybe that was the case, but I don't think so for them. that was the case for them. But it does, and I've seen this since then. In fact, I've seen it recently. I forgot about that. There were 2 instances where I saw it recently. And I don't know, I mentioned before that this kind of thing gives me the heebie-jeebies. When anybody is in this delusional state of the way they see themselves, it always gives me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, really. Okay, what this made me think about was, how when kids, or girls, let's say, and boys, I guess too, they're young and they play dress up. Like the girls that wear their mother's clothes and have a little tea party. I remember when I was a kid, me and one of the sister who was closest in age, we were like 15 months apart. We would do that, and we had a playhouse actually in the backyard, and we had an easy bake oven, and she would do the cooking, and I was, doing the tea and stuff. It was cute. But that's what these 2 women made me think about, and then the 2 more recent ones I've seen. That's a lot of years just to see that so few, so it's not something I see all the time. But yeah, what would be motivating them? Maybe at their jobs, if they behaved more mature, it was some kind of benefit or something, but it didn't really benefit them. None of these 4, to me, it just wouldn't benefit them to behave that way. It would look fake. And yes, I understand about narcissism, but no, this would really look fake, and it would stand out. So it did stand out. Of course, it could be more histrionic type behavior. They're being theatrical. They're on stage or something. Yeah, this is a bit of a stream of consciousness type video. But yeah, it made me wonder, seriously, what do they have to benefit from it? But, if they're wanting attention, they're getting it. Negative doesn't matter. Histrionics doesn't tend to matter. Okay, I don't want to keep repeating myself, which I do quite often. But yeah, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. It's like one of the 2 recently. And it made me wonder how many people are fooled by it. When someone acts like they're much older. The one I saw the other day, one of them was like, I'd say around 20 years older. It seemed like a good age, good difference that they do. It's 20 years older. But it was like somebody's probably being fooled by these people. And that's why they do it, maybe. I don't know, what do you think? So let me go ahead and wrap this up. But it did make me think of something else. I'm going to do a video on that. It's about obtainable goals. And I mean, it really didn't make me think about that, but I thought about it together. Yeah, later on. Anyway, if you want to subscribe to this channel, click one of the circle. Okay, let me say that again. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you would, and I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.